Hi, I'm Meadow, love and dating writer and coach. My mission is to empower women in discovering their authentic selves, cultivating self-love, and building fulfilling relationships that nourish their souls. I'm dedicated to guiding women on a transformative journey towards personal growth and lasting love. Today I'm going to be reading and responding to a letter from a listener. As always, letters will remain anonymous. Dear Meadow, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm reaching out because I could really use your advice. About 8 months ago, life threw me a curveball and now I find myself divorced. While I'm excited about this new chapter, I'm also feeling a bit out of practice when it comes to dating. I'm a mom now and it feels like forever since I've been on a first date. I'm nervous but also hopeful. I was wondering if you had any tips for women over 30 navigating the dating world. Your honest and practical advice would mean the world to me. Thanks, Jen, for writing in. Um, it takes courage to embark on a new chapter, especially one that involves dating again. You're absolutely right. The landscape has changed since your last first date, but that's also exciting, isn't it? You're a whole new person now with a wealth of experiences and wisdom, and now you'll also have a better insight into what you're looking for as a mom, and as someone who wants to bring home someone that is good for you and a good fit for your family. I'd like to start with some broad back to dating safety and how-to tips, then I'll move into some more personalized suggestions for supporting you through the process. Let's cover where to meet people. I met my partner on the apps, so I'm not discrediting the apps, but I think there's a certain magic in meeting people in the wild. Think about who you are and what matters to you. Do you love live music? Do you love sporting events? Are you an avid churchgoer? Do you love nature and hiking? Finding events that center around your passions is going to be a wonderful choice. I know it can be especially challenging when you have your kids, but getting out once in a while and doing things that you love is going to be good for you, for opportunities to rebuild your community post-divorce, and for being in the right place at the right time for someone that shares your interests that might be a good match for you. After the father of my child and I split up, he was only able to take our girls on Monday evenings because he worked in the hospitality industry and only had Mondays off work. I love live music, so I found a local music event that happened to be right up the road from my home on Monday nights. And what was cool about it being on Mondays was that my town has a fair amount of tourism as well. So Saturday nights are often full of tourists at places like this. So having it be on a Monday, it was definitely more of a local crowd, and that was a wonderful way to meet other locals who shared my interests. I met a lot of cool music lovers and I built a whole new network of friends. And even though I didn't meet my person there, I had plenty of opportunities to practice flirting or getting to know people and determining what kind of people were a good match for me and which weren't. Um, like, for example, I learned that I don't really like men that center their nights around drinking and that I prefer the sober weirdos who just came to dance. It was good for me and a good lesson for sure. Definitely helped me in my path of fine-tuning what I wanted in my partner. My current partner and I love seeing music together. It's probably one of the hallmarks of our relationship, and it's one of the things that definitely kicked us up from being just friends into being a couple. So where can you find these events? I recommend Facebook. Facebook has an events section. It's a great place to check for events in your area that align with your interests or passions. There's also the app Meetup. You can download that app and then log into your local area and search events, maybe like hiking group meetups, young professional meetups, board game meetups, even events for single parents, anything like that that'll get you out and socializing with other people that share your interests. Now, the only drawback about going to these public events that are centered around things that you love is that there's no way of knowing who the other single people are at the sporting events or the cycling class. So, in addition to doing the things that you love, I also recommend checking out the singles events in your area. Again, you can use Facebook events or the Meetup app. These are great places to check for these. And hear me out. While these events might feel a little cheesy, It's a great way to get yourself in a room with a handful of single potentials that you can get to know all at once. It's a wonderful time saver, especially if you have limited kid-free time like I did, because you can meet lots of singles in one place at one time and increase your odds of connecting with someone that you might actually connect with. Finally, let's discuss the apps. The apps are a great way to show you who else is single and interested in dating in your area. The apps give you immediate access to a pool of singles in your area from your couch while you're watching Bluey with your kids. You can immediately engage in conversations and sort through people based on the data that they've shared on their profile. I met my partner on Bumble, so I'm partial to that app, but Facebook Dating, Hinge, Match, Tinder, or any other app will work the same way. I know that Tinder is generally the most popular, so I think it'll provide you with the largest pool, especially if you live in a more remote area. But all of these apps serve their customers in a little bit of different ways. I'll tell you why I liked Bumble the best. One of the features in Bumble is that the women have to initiate the conversations. And this was a wonderful time saver for me, and it prevented me from feeling overstimulated, because some of the other apps where the men can message you first, you might open up your inbox and find hundreds of messages and feel inclined to respond to all of them out of politeness or fear of missed opportunities. But honestly, especially if you're a mom, you don't have time for that. And so, what I really liked about Bumble is that since I had to initiate the conversations, I could guarantee that all of the conversations I initiated were with people that I wanted to have conversations with. And I could limit the number of conversations that I start. So that way it was fitting to my personal bandwidth for what I was able to do and how much time I was able to commit to responding to people on the apps. And it made me more engaged in the conversations and prevented me from feeling too spread thin. All right, let's move on to those first dates. I want to offer you a couple of parameters for if you're new to dating in this day and age. Meeting with strangers from off the apps, or blind dates through your friends, or maybe somebody that you met once at one of those meetup events. I highly recommend keeping that first date simple. I'm a big fan of the coffee date. You can be in and out in 45 minutes if it's not going well. It's in a public space, generally in the daylight, so safety is covered. You're probably sober, which is a great space to be in when you're trying to authentically get to know someone. Um, I recommend when you're in a new space with someone, especially if it is someone you're meeting off the app and you've never been in a physical space with them before, checking in with yourself, check in with your gut. Ask yourself if you feel safe, if you're having fun. Notice whether or not your body wants to gravitate toward or away from this person. Letting yourself know or checking in with yourself to see how you feel in the presence of this other person, which is really important, regardless of how well the conversation on the apps may or may not have gone. The coffee date is not a hard rule, of course. These are just tips that I've picked up to help me avoid wasting time on long-winded dinner dates or avoid letting strange men know where I live or where I spend most of my time. Another trick that I used, again, when I mentioned that you could be in and out in 45 minutes, is I like to set a timer for about 45 minutes at the beginning of the date. I didn't let my dates know that this was happening. So at about 40, 45 minutes into the date, the timer would go off and it would look like my phone was ringing. And so I'd pick up my phone, and this was a great opportunity to be like, oh, I've got to go pick up my kids. I'm so sorry. I got to wrap this up. Great way to get out of there quickly if the date wasn't going well. Or if the date was going well and you want to stick around a bit, you could just ignore and be like, oh, nothing, just an alarm I forgot to unset. So this was a great trick just to give yourself that check-in of whether or not you wanted to get out of there because this wasn't going well, or if you want to stick around and get to know them a little bit more. I hope you find that helpful. So last, let's cover you. First and foremost, be kind to yourself. This is new territory and it's okay to feel nervous or unsure. Remember that you're not alone. Millions of women are navigating the same path, dating with kids past the age of 30 for the first time. This is actually pretty much the norm now. Embrace your motherhood. Being a mom is awesome, and it's an incredible part of who you are. Don't hide it. It's a great conversation starter, and it can also be a good filter for potential partners. Someone who's interested in your life and your children might be a better fit than someone who isn't. Set boundaries. You know yourself better than anyone. So, what are your non negotiables? What kind of relationship are you looking for? Clearly defining your boundaries will help you attract the right kind of people and avoid wasting time. Take it slow. There's no rush. Enjoy getting to know people and don't feel pressured to jump into a serious relationship right away. This is time for exploration and rediscovery. And last, and probably my favorite, prioritize self care. Dating can be exhausting between sometimes facing rejection or just having a series of uninteresting dates. Make sure that you carve out time for yourself. Whether it's a long bath, a good book, a workout, self care is essential for maintaining your balance. Remember, Jen, dating is about connection. So be honest, authentic, and the right person will appreciate the amazing woman that you are. You've got this. I'm going to pull a Love Oracle card for you from my Love Oracle deck by Alina Fairchild. I've got Self-Initiation. It says, you're being touched by a wave of your own light and motion. Can you feel the blessings and love that are flowing toward you and from within you in an upsurging wave of love? The Oracle holds a message for you. There are many teachers on this path, some humble, some wise, some great companions on your life journey, and some who will enter in and out of your life quickly. Perhaps imparting a helpful word or teaching you a more challenging lesson about trusting and relying upon your wisdom. The greatest teacher, however, is life itself. You can trust in your own experiences and know that it is the divine spark within you, the life within you, that is the one true teacher who carries you home in awakened reunion with the divine. Awesome. I liked the note in there about how you'll meet many people and how they'll all provide some kind of a lesson for you. And I think that's true. Getting out and dating, you don't want to set your expectations to, I've got to find my soulmate today. You're going to meet a lot of people in between that are not going to be your soulmate, but they may have been on your soul's path to helping you learn a lesson, whether that's a pleasant lesson or an unpleasant lesson, or just helping you fine tune what it is you're looking for in the right person. All right. Thank you so much, Jen. If you'd like to write to me, please do. Maybe your letter will be the next one that I record in these videos. You can email me at karmicmeadow@coaching@gmail.com. I also recently started offering one-on-one consultations, so you can email me there as well about availability. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time.